me. It is February 2nd, 7:03 p.m., guys. It is your host, the Digital Goat. I hope everyone had an amazing Wednesday, and I hope everybody is ready to rock out this Thursday. Guys, what we're gonna do right here, this is our session where we pretty much go over what transpired in the market the last couple of days. So if you're out there in the YouTube community, make sure you hit a like on my channel, as well as subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date on my content. And let's just get right into it, guys. As you know, Thursday's our market overview, like I stated, and we're just going to look at, some of the trades we looked at and possibly any moves in the market that we may have been able to potentially take, guys, and then just kind of close out from there. So this is no live trading, but if we see an opportunity, I will point it out. I won't give out, my targets and stuff or my entries, but I'll say, hey, man, this is a good zone where I would like to buy or sell at, something to that effect, guys. So I hope you enjoy, and, just get out a pen and notepad and just take some notes, guys. So let's start off with the DXY. As you know, I've been talking about the DXY heavily. Reason being is because I am in America. I'm in North America. So I do believe that, wherever you're at in the world, guys, you should be able to analyze your country's currency. If you're a day trader out there, if you have absolutely no idea what's going on, then I don't expect you to follow this agenda. But this is the dollar index. This is the DXY. So this is the index for the United States currency, right? So, guys, the dollar has been on a selling tear. As many of us know, right? The dollar has been bearish, going down. So if you don't know what bearish is, pretty much the dollar has been selling or just going down. As you guys see right here, the dollar has definitely been in a downtrend. Now, for me, I haven't had the notion of saying that, we're going into a recession, or that I believe that the dollar is completely bearish. I do believe that we're pretty much about to have a turnaround on the dollar. I'm sticking to that bias just because I follow Bloomberg, guys. I follow some of these analysts and high-level figures that talk about, the financial market and what their thoughts are and, what their projections are based off the data that they're getting in the market. And everybody's still hawkish. That matters, right? Now, there's confusing arguments out there that are we going into a recession? Are we not? What's going on? None of that stuff matters to me. It just matters what the data is showing us, guys. And we had our first potential momentum booster of the dollar being bullish, or of the dollar potentially buying, guys. So if you see right here, what was this morning? Let me see. I think that was this morning or last night. So yeah, yesterday the dollar gapped down, right? The dollar gapped down yesterday. So if you guys can see, let me draw a circle. Where's my circles at? Circles. This isn't it. My ellipse. So this was pretty much an area, if you guys can see this zone, this was pretty much an area that the dollar gapped down. Banks pretty much closed at this time frame. Now, this can be an indicator for a potential area if the dollar decides to, because we had this example that happened already. If the dollar decides to push up to a new level of resistance and then come down, it could potentially sweep this area, guys, because this is a gap. Make no mistake, when it shot down, that was a liquidity grab, but that's not saying that we can't get a retest on the other side. So that's something I'm going to look out for as we transpire from February into March, guys. But based off of the momentum right now, unless we have some news, not to mention what is following, if you do follow the fundamentals of, trading, whether it's stocks or foreign exchange, guys, you'll know that it doesn't matter. Like, man, I lost my train of thought there, guys. I don't know what I was about to say. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, we have a gap in the market. The market actually sweep that up, guys. So based off of right now, we're bullish, right? So if you just switch it to the Hakanashi candles, you'll see that we have our first start of a flat bottom with strong momentum in the market, guys. So if you just look at it right here, flat bottom shows momentum in the market, just like you can kind of see on the selling side. So blue means bullish, obviously, guys. That's how I have my Hakanashi candle set up. So flat bottom, big strong momentum boosters. The DXY isn't physically open yet, but when it opens, it should continue in this momentum way, guys. If not, retest this area, at least a percentage where the gap was at. If it decides to come back down there, I could definitely see that. But as you can see right here on the 4-hour, that is an inverted head and shoulders. So if it did retest it, probably like the top of that zone. So if you go back into like that time frame where we saw the gap at, you'll see that in fact it did create some type of structure, right? Even though you can't see it when you look at a candlestick pattern, right? You can see it when you switch it to a line chart. So basically this area came down, the market grabbed that up, and these previous highs. So this was the previous high that the market has yet to retest yet, which could potentially enact as the dollar opens up, guys, right? So regardless of what's going on, I'm looking at the dollar to be bullish. So I'm just giving you guys potential retest areas or things like that the dollar could potentially do. And if you're in trades right now, that could actually affect, your position. I mean, affect what the market may be doing depending on your position, guys. But let's not go too much in detail with this, guys. I just wanted you to be aware of that. But also, again, I'm always going to introduce an index for whatever country. I'm in America, so I'm always going to introduce the dollar index, guys. Again, if you're across the world, I suggest you guys get familiar with your country's index. And it's not limited to like the major countries like, Japan, as far as like currency markets, like Japan, United Kingdom, Europe. There's probably other index out there for like Africa, small countries or small provinces in Asia. You know what I'm saying? It goes deeper into that. So wherever you're at in the world, focus on that and use that against, obviously what you're trading, guys. So just wanted to push that out there. NZD USD. I know we've been talking about this for a while, right? Now we're going to actually go into, what happened with NZD USD. Now, I know I got a lot of chaos going on, guys, but just follow along if you can make out what I'm showing you. Understand, it may seem like a lot, but this is, once you start breaking down like how this market works, guys, you're not going to be so intimidated by like somebody else's setup. Don't get me wrong. There are other people out there, for instance, one of my family members, this is my sister in my business. Not literally my sister, but she has become a sister in my business. Her chart setup within TradingView, it looks like a lightsaber battle between like Jedi Knights and Sith Lords. So I understand there may be some type of confusion when you're seeing like a lot of chaos, but let's just keep it simple. If we didn't even use candlesticks, this is exactly what it would look like, guys. Line chart, right? Pretty straightforward. Now, once you drown out all that noise, it's a little bit easier on the eyes to see. Now, I mentioned this last week. Well, not last week. I think at the beginning of this week. So if you guys tune into my video for this week, it was either the weekly market, the weekly outlook recap, because I wasn't able to do, or I forgot to record my weekly outlook on Sunday, guys. You'll be able to see that I talked about NZD USD. One, we got our first break of structure, guys, as you see right here. Now, this is obviously imaginary, but I've been had this line drawn, and you still want to use these resources, guys, for you to be able to make sense of the market. Now, I had this info all the way down here somewhere, and I had to extend it, right? Now, I knew that this was a support, at least a trend line, right? This was a support structure for an uptrend, right? So I was getting the support of the trend up. We can get support and resistance in a ranging market, or when the market is moving sideways. But I think a lot of people forget that you can actually still use a trend line. I don't limit myself by doing it so often as far as like a trend line, but it does help when you see it and it's like, okay, it broke. Now I need a retest. The retest 9 times out of 10 will be higher. Why would it be higher? Because if I look at the top of this resistance zone, so even if I'm, again, new to trading and I don't know where resistance is, these are selling zones, but understand the market is going to want to collect it with structure, guys, right? So the banks, when you see wicks like this, guys, and you're confused on, what may happen. Like say you saw this move and you're like, oh man, I believe this thing is bullish. Potentially, but really the market was actually attracted to this liquidity up here that is hosted by these wicks. So when you start seeing wicks like up here, right? Wick, and they're closing as wicks, right? They're closing as these long lines, right? You need structure because that is the bank move. And what I mean, guys, is that if you look to the left, to the right-hand side of this, if you look to the right-hand side of this, the market actually closed with structure. And what I mean, if I turn it to a line chart, I can see that this spike up, it closed higher. What's going on here? This is literally, if I just draw a rectangle or a zone back to it, all right? Let me make it a different color. I don't know. We don't have many colors to choose from, so guess I'm gonna do a light pink. Oh man, I don't know. Anyway, blue, right? So a light blue, right? I drew the zone back, guys, because if again I turn it to a candlestick, you have liquidity. It's backed up by these wicks. So you see how you actually had candles close at where there was money left over. So anytime you see that, guys, that's money left over. Now let me just back up a little bit. Okay, there we go. This is what I wanted to get back to. So, okay, now that we established that, so for instance, right? If I had already had this trend line already up, right? Like if we were at this position, you understand that this is consolidation, but here's the thing, consolidation normally spells potentially not a reversal, but the market not playing out in the direction that you would like. So anytime you hit consolidation, you no longer know what the trend is, but you use the parameters that you already have, guys. So what I did was I said that once I extended my support trend line, right? And the market broke out of that. Now, yes, you could have taken this move. I believe I took this move. So say you did take this move, your retest would have either been somewhere up here. Your retest would have been, let's change that to green, right? Your retest would have been somewhere up here. Now, on a 4-hour, you can't really see it. But if we start breaking it down to a smaller time frame, there's probably some type of retest within there, right? That you could have spotted from that position. Now, I saw another area that you could have sold at, but you would have been a little bit higher. So, okay, maybe you saw the breakout and you decided to enter right here on this small pullback, right? Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse, guys. So this small pullback in this area, this would have been your entry potentially from a higher position if you were able to spot that. Most time people aren't spotting that, guys. The reality is they're probably spotting this move, right? So say that you did take this trade, like ignore that I got all this stuff over here, but say that you did take the initial impulse, right? More than likely, your retest would have been like here, right? Your retest would have been here, and you would have had to understand that, man, I can't stay in this trade long because let me see how many pips that was. That's actually not even a bad move. So what I already advocate, guys, that 25 to 30 pip movement, because the market can reverse higher or lower than that initial entry that we got. Never think your entry is secure, but most times people would have got in this green area right here. So let's say 64,749 or 64,750. You waited for that. You wrote it down for pretty much a good move, right? You know that after the break, you don't know where the retest would be. Somebody could say it's up here, but more than likely when you spot that liquidity or money up here, guys, it will rise higher in order to sell harder. It makes sense with the concept of buy low, sell high. This wasn't a high point because the market could actually come higher. So let's actually see what transpired within the market when it did that, right? So you identify this, you start seeing it move sideways. So if you didn't collect down here, normally if it came down again down here, that would have been your area to say, let me get up out of here. I'm not really feeling how this market is moving, right? Now, again, don't be fooled in saying that, oh man, the consolidation is going to carry me down. Again, the amateur trader, or the I wouldn't even say the amateur, because even at my level, I'm still an amateur, but the impatient trader thinks like this: I see this move, I got to retest. So I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, consolidation does not guarantee that at all, guys. Does not guarantee that at all. So let's actually, with that notion, let's actually see what happened within the market. Now, when I drew the break of this, I actually said there was a possibility that the market could retrace high to this point, right? High to this structure. It's imaginary, but it's still valid, guys. So I don't want anybody to think that, oh man, I've heard the talks out there within the communities, guys, where people believe that, trend lines don't matter, so only use zones. No, they matter when they're necessary. I don't have, these trend lines, whether it's support or resistance, all over my chart setups or bias. I don't have them all over my screen and stuff, guys, but I'll use them when I identify that I need to say that physically I need to be able to see that there was a break, and now I need to be able to see where the possibility of the retest was. So let's see. I drew this out. I know we were a little bit lower, but pretty much this was the highest point, and the consistency would have been like right here, right? So you see the consistency of like these wicks, 1, 2, if I go all the way back, it's consistently touching. So that wouldn't have been a bad zone, right? Well, let's go ahead and, like I said, see what happened within the market. So now we're here. Now we're here at the, wow, we're here at the very exact zone that, somebody could have initially been selling from. Hold on. Now we're at the initial zone that, let me change this to a different color because I know it's probably hurting some people. So we're at the initial zone that somebody could have. Dope, bro. That's what's up. One of my guys sold from there. So somebody could have pretty much sold from here, guys. The sell is going to continue. Now, normally when we're introduced to consolidation, guys, let me clear this up. Normally when we're introduced to consolidation, you have your break out of consolidation, and then you're told that, hey man, there's a retest that should be coming. But how consolidation works is that should have been already been a retest to continue the market up. So if the market was still valid to the upside, the retest should have been within the box, not outside of it, if that makes sense. So you see how the market has jumped outside. We have no retest. This is imbalance right here. Let me kind of show you guys by getting rid of this stuff. So y'all see how the market is, at that point, it popped up, but there was no retest. So normally what I expect is that when we have a breakout like this, so say to validate that it's bullish, right? That's what I'm getting at. So this market was still bullish. Even if it pushed a momentum candle like this, immediately I should have saw a position like this, and then the market strike up, right? But we've made ourselves all the way up to an area that we already deemed that the market should actually fall from, one, but also because we haven't had a retest, more than likely the market will sweep this on the opposite side. And the neat thing about this, guys, is that it will probably sweep this. So you'll probably see, as we're already seeing right now, probably see a position like this. But the cool thing about consolidation is that, guess what? The market is attracted to consolidation zones, whether it's the bottom or in the zone. So as the market gives us this, where will be our next area potentially? It could be as high as this, but at least an area that the market will aim for. Say you decided to take a buy up. The market will aim for consolidation. So say it makes its way all the way down here. More than likely, it will come either within this zone or below this zone, and it can come a little bit higher and then continue selling from there. Make sense? So given more opportunities, guys, I'm looking at this to be a great week. I mean, a great year for Forex traders and stock traders out there, guys. So keep tight with this stuff. Don't give up in the market, guys. Obviously use proper risk management and then just play the market accordingly. So NZD, USD, I'm still looking for the sell down. Let me get rid of this. See where we're at. So yeah, NGD USD, I'm still looking for the sell down. The DXY has not opened yet. Let me see. Yeah, it has not opened yet. So, once the DXY opens, we'll probably get like a gap somewhere. And then well, it already gapped. So no, it didn't. So once we get the DXY open, we'll start seeing what the market is actually showing us. But I do believe that we're still bearish. If you just go into the Hakanashi candle. It just depends on where the market wants to pull back at. Strong momentum. Like I said, strong momentum right here. You got your flat bottom. And again, we just need a DXY to open. So I expect maybe, a small pullback and then actually bring the market down unless it just continues shooting down, which that's all plausible too, guys. Everything's subjective. But as far as the momentum, yes, the momentum is showing potentially like right here at 65,072. Matter of fact, I want to actually use that stuff later on, because this was the initial start of the momentum. This was like the indecision, and this was like the initial start. So 65,070 was the initial move of the bearish trend, right? So I'm actually going to use that later on to see if this plays effects, because the market could decide to come all the way back up here for this, like next week. Understand what I'm saying? So like next week, this could, or in the future, this could potentially be another sell zone. If not, like I said, the consolidation zone would be the sell zone. So let's look at US 30 as well. So US 30 is in consolidation right now, not really doing anything. So we have a slight retest to the upside, guys. Now, again, what did I tell you guys? Liquidity. Now, that's not saying that the market won't decide to push up, right? But we have had liquidity. We have had liquidity both ways. There's a lot more liquidity down here than there is up here, if that makes sense, guys. Now, when the market, this was a bank move right here. I want you guys to understand that. This was clearly a bank move. Anytime you see the market actually start to fall like this, and it's followed by like an aggressive wick, something that you haven't been like seeing, like most people would be like, oh man, stop hunt, or manipulated by the market. Absolutely manipulated by the banks. But this was a bank move. And if you look at it, 34, wow, man, 34.47 is probably at 34.50. Let me see. It's probably at a bank number. Yep. Is that the top of it? Yeah. 34,350. Wow, guys, 34,350 that the market decides to pop all the way up and reject. That is a bank number, guys. So right now we're in consolidation with no destination on what the market is actually trying to do, guys. Let me see. With no destination on actually what the market is trying to do. And again, we don't have the DXY open at all. So we don't have any data to actually, push this down. But I am overall bearish on US 30, guys. I know we had like a rally today. I think what's going to happen is that the market is going to push down, and then either next week or whenever it decides to, it may come down and rally. But this is the initial bank move for, what time is this? 1500. Oh, yeah. So the Federal Reserve or stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, they're in control of this market, pushing it down, guys. So until we get a rally back up, we have to assume that this market is definitely bearish until it decides to come back up here and pick this up, which I don't know when that will be. And again, it could decide to come back up here a percentage because there is liquidity and then fall down. But if you see, the market has been making way more liquidity pools down here than it has up here. It's kind of pretty much attacked that. The only thing is that unless if the algorithm even recognizes this, sometimes the algorithm doesn't recognize that this is even like a liquidity move up here and decides to push it down and come back up later. I could definitely see that, guys. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at US 30 along with some other currency pair. Some other indices, guys, to start taking a fall. Now, let's actually see where it's at currently in orientation to Fibonacci, right? So it's at 618 currently, could of this candle. So if you guys see, it's at 618 of this market currently, right? So it could start to push this market down, if not go up 786 of this market, and all that stuff will make sense. Turn it to a line chart, Makes sense. Wow, there's resistance up here, right? On this 4 hour time frame. Let me go to a 3 hour time frame. Okay, if I really look at it, we have a previous low that the market is currently at. And guess what? Guess what's on the opposite side? Consolidation. Wow. Consolidation. So again, guys, like I mentioned, if this sell is valid, right? The consolidation could be like the market could actually respect the low point of the consolidation or into it, which is more likely for it to respect it into it than it is to respect like the bottom of it and then start to sell down from there, guys. So everything's still speculative because we don't have any data from the DXY still. But if you just follow basic technical analysis of trading, guys, because again, all the news came out, so everything else now is still price action. So what pretty much the market is doing currently right now, guys. So if you see US 30, again, no momentum from the dollar, probably won't have no momentum until what is it, pre-London or going into London, guys, which could actually make this thing go down. But again, we'll analyze this market. It is NFP week, so anything we can actually sanction and say that this could happen, the market could say, nah, man, I'm not feeling that. You know what I'm saying? Like that song from Ice Spice, you thought I was feeling you? And the market say, nope, and then continue to go up. But it's building liquidity. I like that. Again, same thing we saw, guys. Whenever it builds this liquidity, it may not go all the way up, but it needs to have a candle close because the market didn't even register this, how fast it moved away from this. So it would make sense if this market started falling from here because I literally see liquidity. It attacked the liquidity, a percentage of it. So this is something that I used to do. I used to measure the wicks. I mean, I still kind of do that. The immediate wick next to it because I want to see what percentage of the wick it came to, guys, right? Because it's still excuse me, this is still a candle like on a smaller time frame, but I do want to see what percentage it measured from the biggest move of the wick. So if you see, guys, it is at 38% of this wick, right? Of this current wick right here, it is at 38%. How do I know that? If I just extend my fib back over here, I know it's a lot. So let me make it a little bit darker for you guys so y'all can see. Yeah, I think that's better. So if you see, if you see 38%, right? It's currently at 38%. Obviously, we know anywhere that the market retests is 28 to 38%. This isn't always like concrete, but it's still, again, you're collecting information. You're doing your reconnaissance, guys, right? So right here, if it shot up, we're at 50%. That makes sense to me. And then again, we already said that it could potentially rise higher because 786 is somewhere up here. But you see it's starting to show signs of rejection already. 38% pretty much adds up to high momentum in the market. So when you're looking at 38%, that means, the market had a shallow retracement because the market is aggressively whatever direction is going. So the same thing could happen for like a bull run, but I am looking at a bear run, guys. So, just keep it pretty much simple. We are going into Friday. Again, it's NFP, so nothing guarantees anything that you're going to do in this market. You know what I'm saying? But again, we have, kind of avoided all the news until we get into news tomorrow and stuff. But we'll see, guys. We'll see what the market plays out. Again, I'm more focused on NZD USD, but kind of to show you guys USD JPY to kind of strengthen my resolve on what I was talking about when it comes to the dollar. I expect UJ to continue to rise as well. So I caught some moves from UJ, expect it to continue to rise as well, guys. So you see it's retesting right now. You see it's retesting right now within the zone, could create a lower support. I think it's just breaking out of a high, and then it's going to go to the upside within this zone, guys. And if you just kind of look at it, again, I'm not the most savvy person when it comes to identifying this, but again, when it happens, and it's just potential, right? Potential of what it may do. Potentially, you know what I'm saying? Like potentially maybe an inverted head and shoulder. I really don't like how that looks. So that might not even be the right pattern. But if it did spot this if we did identify this like on a 2 hour time frame, then yeah, and it started showing us this move to the upside, then yeah, definitely we have an inverted head and shoulder, or we have a move that the market is actually going to bring us up, right? So that's what I was looking at for UJ. UJ, we caught some plays yesterday, actually went like 50 pips in profit based off of that bullish move off the dollar, guys. So yeah, I'm thinking NZD USD is continuing down. UJ, I wanted to continue to the upside. That will kind of go hand in hand to what I believe US 30 may be doing, guys, as well as now Nas is kind of like me and my partner were talking. Nas is kind of like the elephant in the room where it's like it's going to be hard to say what it's trying to do because tech stocks are influencing it heavy. But what I will say is that I believe that Nas still follows the pathway of US 30 once it starts, finishing its cycle. And then that will actually show us some decrease in value when it comes to the NASDAQ. And I think the elephant in the room will be cryptocurrency, i.e. things such as Bitcoin, guys. I think that will be the elephant in the room. And I think what's going to happen is that some of these tech stocks, when the NASDAQ and US 30 is going down, it's going to be influenced by cryptocurrency, right? It's going to be influenced by cryptocurrency to continue to actually add more value to their companies, guys. So this is actually, if you're not paying attention, there's crypto.com commercials out there. I just saw it on the TV this morning. They're talking about NFTs. The world or the economy is not doing that for no reason, guys. You know what I'm saying? There's a plan in motion. And if you don't identify it, you'll just be a spectator. You see what I'm saying? So get knee deep into this information. Stop overlooking stuff because it just passed through an ad. You know what I'm saying? If it's an ad, there's a reason for it, guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to introduce today, guys. So Bitcoin or crypto in general, I am looking for some type of pullback this weekend. If it doesn't, it'll probably play off of this zone and continue up. But yeah, that's just showing great potential. So I hope you guys bought. Again, this is no financial advice, but I'll tell you that I bought specifically cryptos when Bitcoin was at like 15, 16K, like other cryptocurrencies. So if you guys aren't doing that, sorry for your loss, but there's still going to be opportunity. I'm not saying that, crypto is about to go on an extreme bull run, guys, but there's going to be opportunity out there for you. So manage that. Stay the course, guys. Again, if you've been following me on my YouTube channel, hit that like button as well as that subscribe button as well, guys. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date on my content. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. We are currently at 125 subscribers, guys. So please hit that subscribe button because we're trying to get to 1,000 before the next 6 months. And if you're out there in the community and you're looking for a community to associate with when it comes to trading, stock market, guys, hit me up at Digital Goat on IG. Hit me up at _digital_goats or digital_goats or my Facebook, guys, at Digital Goats. Just type in Digital Goats on Facebook. But appreciate all of you again, guys. As always, see you guys at the top because I promise you we are taking everybody to the top with us in our Jordan year. Thank you again. I will see you guys Sunday at 9 p.m. It will be a recording, but again, live. I'll see you guys next week. Wednesday, Digital Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys again, and let's run it up.